Yeah, eat, sleep, fantasy, you rockin' with the best. NFL Fantasy Football Podcast. We talking mock drafts, running backs, better follow the conversation with Dale, Christian, and Armando. Screaming Eat Nation, we doing what we like. Tune in every week, guarantee we get it hype. Fantasy football enthusiasts, I know you plan to be joining us on Eat, Sleep, Fantasy. Yeah, Eat, Sleep, Fantasy. Eat, Sleep, Fantasy.
All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Eat, Sleep, Fantasy Football Podcast, also known as the Carrot Top of Fantasy Football Podcasts. My name is Christian Brito, and joining me, as always, is the best in the business, Mr. Dale DeMott. What is up, Dale?
Love the intro. Yeah, we're the Carrot Top of Fantasy Football Podcasts. Well, one, because this podcast is kind of themed around Las Vegas, which we're going to get to in a minute. But Carrot Top is a real deal. Me and you are going to go see him when it's not a group. It's just one person. It's one Carrot Top. We're going to go see him when we're in Vegas this week. So I'm excited. And
I'm not sure how I feel about this just yet. We were trying to figure out what we're going to do in Dallas. Oh, wow. I still have Dallas on my mind. In Vegas this week. And so we obviously have, the dinner resis and the hotel and all that stuff. I said resis in the middle. And I'm ashamed that I said that. Anyways, we got some cool stuff lined up. And then Sunday night, Dale's like, yo, we're going to go see Carrot Top. And
I'm like, awesome.
Carrot Top? But, I mean, I'm
It's
easy
gonna be
to
good.
I'm easy to convince to do anything. Yeah. Like, I'll do anything once.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It'll be fun. For those of you joining us tonight, we appreciate you signing in and listening to our podcast. Normally, we chat about all things fantasy football. That includes stats, data analysis. But today we're going to do something a little bit different. This episode is presented to you by Draft Party USA. So make sure you guys check out draftpartyusa.com. Christian, why don't you tell them what we're doing today?
Well, what I want to do here, I'm constantly preaching that fantasy football should be what, Dale?
It should be fun.
It should be fun. I understand that you guys play for money. I understand that we play for trophies. We play for bragging rights. Most of all, I just play, really honestly, I play to be able to hold that over Dale's head every single year.
Yeah.
Because it's fun. It's like when you teabag somebody in a video game, but I do that in real life to Dale. Wait, no, that was weird. But that's how it feels to me, right? The money is nice and whatever, but fantasy football for me, the number one reason I play is to have fun, and I recommend that to everybody. I understand we want the stats and we want the information, and that always comes. And there's a million outlets to get that. But I hope that what you guys see in us is that we want to give you that in a different way, especially if you're a first-time listener. We want to provide you with the fun in fantasy football as well. So something that I constantly want to remind you guys is that fantasy should be fun. So whether that's, the podcast that you listen to or the way that you draft, right? Figure out a way to get your league together and go to Vegas or go, even if it's, just going to a buddy's house, but figure out a way to not be drafting on your computer every time. Figure out a way to make a challenge when, to see who gets that first pick. Figure out a way to have a punishment for last place. Make it fun. If you're just in a family league and you only just play for pride, put a little bit of money. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, yes.
Right?
We're an independent podcast. We can say whatever we want.
Okay. I don't know like the legalities behind it, but you put a little bit of money, right? Even if it's something to get a trophy for your league if you don't have one.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Figure out ways to make your league more fun. And that's something that we're going to talk about a little bit today. We're going to have a couple people on our show that over the last few years, they've done their league right. And, it's something that I posed the question on Twitter, like, what do you guys do to have fun with your leagues? And, we've got a couple people here today that we're going to talk about with Rick, and then with Sachin and Robbie.
Sachin, yeah.
So I want you guys to pay attention because I think you guys need to get ideas. And, if you want to tweet at us some things that you guys do to make your leagues more fun, we'd love to know. We'd love to share that information. Follow us at EatSleepFF on Twitter if you're not doing that.
The problem is, Christian, how old are you? You're 30?
29.
30? 29. Okay, I'm 35. Time is running out for me. Like, my drafts, I mean, I don't have, like, fun. Like, we're going to talk about some pretty cool stuff in a couple of minutes. But, like, my drafts have all, like, I'm in one draft that is 30 years old. Literally, it turns 30 this year, the league. And it's a bunch of old men. And the most fun that I've had in that league was getting together in one room and eating pizza. And we drafted on live board, but it was really boring, no games or anything. And then all my other drafts, like, I have a baby now. My wife, will bitch at me if I spend too much time on it. And I'm running out of time to do, like, fun stuff, like, going to, Cabo for the weekend with the boys to draft. Like, those days are over for me. I'll tell you right now, I'm never going to Cabo. So, hey, I know you're 29.
Right.
You got to get on it, man. Like, you have just a couple more years left because sooner or later, your wife's going to.
Yeah, but if it comes down to it and I got to choose between her and fantasy football,
okay,
not close.
Anyways, so this it's Draft Party. First of all, let's just talk about Draft Party USA for a second, and then I want to talk to a couple of these commissioners. But Draft Party USA is basically a full service. Whatever you need with your draft party, you call them and they hook it up. Anywhere from Vegas, they're based out of Vegas, so they do all kinds of stuff. They'll hook you up pretty much in any club, any pool area, whatever you need, cabanas, all the way to New York, to Florida, everywhere, California. So make sure you guys hit up draftpartyusa.com. Really cool company. They've been doing it for a while. They know what they're doing. So I highly urge you guys to check them out.
We will actually be with them on National Draft Day, August 25th, at Top Golf in Las Vegas. If you want to come join us at some point when we're in Vegas this weekend, we're going to be there. What days do I announce here? Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Is that the days we're there?
Yeah, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, but they can't. I'm sure Carrot Top's going to be sold out, so they can't go to Carrot Top with us. But
anyways, we'll be at the Top Golf National Draft Day, August 25th, 12 o'clock all the way to like 5, something like that.
Yep. Yeah, 12 to 5 reception. And they have an open bar. It's going to be fun. And then afterwards, I think I want to try to talk everybody into playing some Top Golf after the drafts.
I know
maybe the other people
of
drafting.
Our listeners, Dale, a ton of our listeners go to Vegas every year for their drafts.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and join us this week.
Yeah,
we'll
seriously, hit us up because I want to hang out.
SleepFF on Twitter, or if you're in our Facebook group, message us on there.
Mm-hmm.
We love hanging out with our listeners, especially when Dale puts me on the spot to remember their names.
So we did a private Facebook show only, and of course we hung out with this guy for probably about 4 hours, had drinks with him.
4 hours, but yeah, with Richard.
A couple hours, yeah. So yeah, we had a lot of good times with him and his fiance, and then Christian didn't even remember him.
It's not that.
I said, "Hey, Christian, you remember this guy?" You're like, "Nope."
You didn't give me a chance to like process the face. It was just like, "You remember this guy?" And I'm like, "Hold on, no, he doesn't remember."
We had a writer. We had a writer for Eat Sleep Fantasy for like a month, and you didn't know who JJ was.
Yeah, that one's true.
Yeah, you said, "Who's JJ?" After a month of him writing for us, you're just out of touch. You're too big time. I think that's what the problem is. You're too big time. You're too important for the little guys. And it's sad. Anyways, JJ's not a little guy. I'm not saying like he's a little guy, but let's.
Is he a little guy?
No, he's normal sized.
I mean, well, you put him next to me. Maybe not height wise. Like I don't mean height, but like width. He's a little guy.
Yeah, he's little. Yep, compared to me and you.
What do you think he weighs? Like $170?
Here's a PSA. If you guys are like under 30 and overweight, I highly suggest you start losing it before you get older. Because, man, you get older and it's harder to get off.
Is this really? It's harder to get off. It's harder to find your peeper. That got real quick.
We're weird. All right, let's just jump on the phone with Sachin and Robbie. They are co-commissioners of the Daddy's Gotta Go League. They got some pretty cool stuff to talk about here. So let's just get right into it, and we'll be right back.
All right, so joining us now on the line, we've got co-commissioners from the Daddy's Gotta Go League, straight from Chicago, Illinois. We've got Robbie and Sachin. I hope I'm saying that okay. How you doing, fellas?
Great, doing great. Thanks for having us.
All right, who's who here? Who we got on the line? Where's Robbie at?
This is Robbie right here.
Okay, and then Sachin. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, Sachin, you got it.
Okay, cool. That's an interesting name. Guys, I'm going to start with you, Robbie. I want to know a little bit about your league because we're trying to do something fun. We're trying to learn a little bit about some fun leagues, give our listeners some ideas of what they could do with their leagues. Tell me a little bit about your league.
All right. Our league is about 5 years old. We do a trip every year, a destination. We live about a couple miles from each other in Chicago, but we make a weekend with debauchery where years ago we went to Vegas, then Montreal, went to Vegas again this year. We do something different every time. It's 18 guys, it's actually 12 teams, but 6 co-managed teams to get more people involved. It's just it's a unique experience every time. Sachin does a great job planning just different events, different ways to get extra auction dollars. Because we would do a live auction draft. We have an auctioneer. We have insurance. I mean, we have everything from that you could think of, and special traditions too.
You guys are really nerdy with it.
All right. Let's talk about the traditions really quick. You mentioned the auction dollars. What do you have any cool games for the auction dollars? How do you give bonuses? Like, what do you guys do? Anything fun there?
Yeah, so that's exactly right. That's what we do. I mean, part of the our philosophy is we're trying to make Vegas or whatever less of a bachelor party and more centered around the draft itself. And so before we usually come a day or two early and we'll set up a series of games, whether it's beer pong one year we did a Top Golf event. This year we're doing actually luxury car racing, and so the top 5 teams get in each one of these competitions you'll get extra auction dollars, so you can get anywhere from $4, $5, $6, $7, $8 if you win these competitions. And then for us it's a really competitive league, so that actually means a lot. It can really swing your decision on one player versus another.
Yeah.
Okay. So, man, that sounds luxury car racing, Top Golf.
Yeah. Well, this is awesome. And,
I'm not doing things right.
Yeah. Well, the problem is, Christian, like the people that we play with, they're all really cheap. Like when I first got into fantasy football, I just envisioned like all my friends going to Vegas every year, and then
Your privilege is showing.
Yeah. and then reality hits where it's like, okay, we have 2 guys that are willing to go anywhere outside their hometown, and then we're all just stuck drafting online on NFL.com. So I don't know if you guys know how lucky you are to have some cool people all in the same league to be up for all this stuff, but it's pretty cool.
Actually, that brings me to a question I think is really important. How do you manage? All right, so Daddy's Gotta Go League. You guys mentioned, right? You guys are all dads. Most of you guys, I imagine, are married, and you have responsibilities and shit to manage in your day-to-day lives. How do you guys all manage to always have this destination draft? How do you get that done?
Yeah, I mean, I give Robbie credit for this. I think it really came down to planting the seed back in like December, January, where we said, hey, we're doing this all the way in August, and we're gonna, got all the wives' permission and locked off the calendar. And then at that point, it just got so hyped up. Everyone's like, there's no way I want to miss this. And once we had the first one, it just became clear that this was the way to do it, and everyone, I think, really just doesn't want to miss this weekend.
Wait, so is this like a family thing? Like, are you guys going without your families? And if you aren't going with your families yet, that's coming soon, right? Where like the wives and kids are going to start going out. Like, sooner or later, that's happening.
There are no families.
No families. Yeah, we let the wives do a little trip of their own later on in the year, so nice. they give us a little more flexibility. But we make it very strict. We make sure that if you can't make the draft unless like extenuating circumstances, you're out of the league. So people are very very committal. They want to be in the league, and it's very competitive. Such a good core group of guys that would become like a family. So it's nice to have every year. Like in Montreal, we were in Montreal one year, and like the game Sachin was saying, we did axe throwing with paintball one time, for auction dollars. So
Right.
there's different things that we think of.
All right. Speaking of family, I'm sure you guys treat each other like family when it comes down to the end of the season. What are some things that you do towards the end of the season to make everybody feel at home and welcome? For maybe the loser or the winner, what happens?
Rob, you want to take that?
Yeah, sure. For the winner, we have a very obnoxious trophy and like a WWE belt, and we have a little pin, a winner circle pin that everyone gets on their lapel, their coat. And so we kind of make it a whole production of it. We get a party bus, we do a private dinner. I guess the best part is last place actually has a lot of anxiety because they have to wear a dress and have a sign on them in a major intersection in the neighborhood saying no money needed, just it's like a fantasy football. And they'll be out there for like an hour in that dress. And while we're in the party bus just watching them and just, having a good time, having a few beers.
That's crazy.
So that makes last place really, 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 really scary.
Yeah, for sure. So now you guys are, I'm sure there's not very many leagues like this, and I'm going to ask everybody, Christian, that we talked to about this, but do your neighbors, do your coworkers know how insane you are about the fantasy football and planning and the party goes around it? Does everybody that knows you know about you, or is this like something like you're trying to hide from the world because you're embarrassed by it?
I think they've gotten to catch on pretty quickly. I mean, we live in a neighborhood where it's pretty small in terms of everyone starts to get to know everyone, even though it's Chicago. But we have a local bar that's sponsoring us, and only our league, gets $2 off beers, and we got our own special mugs, and and then when you're on the major intersection, on a Friday night, and people start to see. So I think we've been pretty outwardly out there how crazy we take this.
Wait.
But I don't know.
Who's been at the
we've gotten to the point.
has
I think
one
we're
of you been at
dads.
the
We got nothing else to do, so we love it.
What'd you say?
Has one of you guys had to be at the intersection?
Not yet. Not me.
Not yet.
Oh,
I've
okay.
definitely proposed last place has to get a belly ring for the summer, and they could take it out. Just be that dad at the pool with a belly ring.
Oh no,
But
That's
yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, but we
That's a great
we
idea.
haven't done that yet. But
let's do that for our league deal.
I would love to.
That's wonderful.
I would love to, but the problem is, man, we just got to find cooler people to hang out with. That's a problem. We got to get guys like Robbie and Sachin in our league.
All right, so guys, tell me, let's boil it down. It's draft day, right? So you guys told me a little bit about ramping up and draft day. Tell me about your draft experience, maybe a typical draft, and then tell me about your best draft experience that you've had.
I'll let Sachin take this one.
Oh wow! I mean, so like we said, it's a live auction. We have an auctioneer, and so we have it's. Frank, in Vegas, they've got this one auctioneer that's phenomenal. I mean, she takes it extremely seriously, and she knows how to do an auction, which is tough, and she keeps everyone in check. And if you get one thing wrong, or if you delay too long, she'll be like, "Shot, you got to do a shot," and she'll make sure you do it before you keep going. So, the most important part is just staying on cue, and otherwise these things can drag on for 5-6 hours. But we're up there, we're getting ready. There's a lot of nerves. People are all hiding their cheat sheets, and when we get started, it kind of rolls from there, especially with a good auctioneer.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, Frank over at Draft Party USA. I know we talked to him earlier in this episode already, but he knows how to throw a party and he knows how to help everybody have a good time. So I'm sure everything you do in Vegas is pretty awesome. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. He's fantastic.
Christian, you have any last parting words here?
Nah, man, I'm excited for Vegas this year. You guys going out to Vegas this year?
Yeah, we'll be there this Thursday.
Nice.
It's upcoming
Thursday,
Thursday. Yeah.
Sunday.
Nice. Oh, we're just a week ahead of you, so we're coming in next Thursday. So, good deal, man. Well,
Thanks.
You guys have fun. Good luck on your draft. The Daddy's Gotta Go League from Chicago. You guys sound like you do it right, and I hope you guys know what you have because it's not everybody can get a group of guys together so committed like that. So, good deal. And, good luck.
Appreciate it.
Good luck this season.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Great talking to you guys. Good luck next week as well.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Thanks.
Later.
Bye-bye.
All right, and thanks again to Sachin and Robbie. That was pretty cool. I love talking to people and getting to know people. But man, I have a feeling if Robbie and Sachin are listening to this, your wives, they're gonna end up going soon. Like, you don't want them to, and you hear it in their voices like, no. Give it like a couple years, and I'm telling you, look, I'm wiser and older. In a couple years, one of the wives are gonna be like, I want to go with you to Vegas, and then all the wives are going to hear that she wants to go, and they're all going to go. Before you know it's going to be a family vacation.
Where's this really coming from, Dale? Because I have a question. Because
I'm telling you,
I've spoken to Brooke recently about fantasy football, and her.
Mm-hmm. Yes, she hates it.
I was going to say not love for it.
Yeah, look, I just have a feeling that I've been with my wife for 20 years, and I'm telling you, they all get, okay, not all. Some wives are cooler than others. But yeah, she's had enough of fantasy football, and she tells me all the time.
Interesting.
Yes.
How is it that you got to go to Vegas?
It's work.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. So, hey, there you go.
Oh, so okay, time out. So you're gonna do the thing?
What thing?
The thing that we all do?
What?
To pretend like we're not having fun when you're having a blast?
Of course. Yeah, no, you when you call, you'd be like, this sucks. It's so hot here. And you just complain about the heat the whole time.
It's 114 degrees. How am I supposed to have fun? Top Golf is outside.
Exactly.
It's all covered in AC. And
AC and all that stuff, yeah.
There's drinks
fancy
being
lights.
brought to you, and
Yeah.
nachos and
Yeah,
draft
but
board. And
work is work. Daddy's got to bring home the bacon, so.
yep, another day, another dollar.
I'm doing it for us.
That's a good line.
God, I hope she doesn't listen to this. She's going to be so angry.
She doesn't
angry.
listen to this.
No, she doesn't. There's going to be one.
Has your wife ever listened to the podcast?
No.
No.
Anyways. All right, we have another guest here. Rick is a commissioner. Man, I don't remember what the name of his, because we just talked to him a minute ago. I don't remember the name of his league is, but he has some pretty cool stories. So here's Rick, and we'll be right back.
All right. Well, joining us now is Rick from the Here We Go League in Arizona. You said where? Tucson, Arizona. Yep. Oh, fuck. I just fucked up. I'm going to start over. I'm not supposed to have talked to you already. So I just 3, 2, 1. All right. Well, joining us from Tucson, Arizona, Rick from the Here We Go League. Rick, how you doing, man?
I'm great, man. Appreciate you for having me on.
So basically, Rick, what we're doing here is we want to give some of our listeners some examples of some fun, some ideas of things that they can potentially do with their league. We're really big on fantasy football should be more than just, the numbers, but it should also be fun. So I want to see if you could tell me a little bit about some of the things you do with your league, with your draft. Tell me a little bit about your league.
Yeah, so, we got this league that we got guys from all over the United States, and we did the online thing, the online draft parties for a little while, and then we decided, you know what, we need to do something bigger. So we started to meet every year in Las Vegas and have a live draft party in Vegas every year, and this will be our 7th year hosting it. And what we do is we get a couple cabanas out at one of the big party pools, the live DJ. And we do our redraft league at the pool all day long. We're at the pool having drinks, doing stuff all day long. So we just make a whole day event out of it. And actually, it's really a whole weekend. We make it a draft party weekend. So everyone gets in Friday. We hit the tables, we get ready, go out to dinner, hit the clubs, wake up Saturday, do the whole day draft party, and then wrap it up Saturday night. So we just it's kind of a way for all of us, like I said, to get together and just have a whole huge weekend out of the deal. It's been awesome.
That's awesome. One question I have, so when you're doing this in Vegas and you're doing it out by the pool, like I guess my personality, maybe I know not everybody's the same, but in my head, I'm thinking I'm going to be out by the cabana and everybody's going to be staring at me and wondering what we're doing with, the board and everything. Does that are people is it awkward at all? Like being out there?
Yeah, it's actually a good question. It's a mix, right? So
some of the cabanas are kind of set off a little bit back off the main pool. So you get the VIP like kind of area and views of the pool and everything, but you're still a little bit kind of removed from like the madness of the main party. So the only traffic that we've had across our cabana is like other cabanas that have been around us. And it's been fun. Like the people love it. They come in, they rip on our draft boards, they talk shit to us, and we make a whole fun thing out of it. So it's never been, I personally have never felt awkward about the whole deal. I walked in last year with my trophy in hand, just waving at everybody as I entered the pool. So it was awesome for me.
That's cool. I don't know. I just imagine some like drunk frat boy, like, I don't know. It'd be a little awkward. Maybe not. Maybe, one day we're going to do it, but haven't had the opportunity to do it yet.
I don't share that same experience, man. I'm an exhibitionist. If I have a trophy, I'm whipping it out.
There you go. Show it off.
My question is going the other way around. So you mentioned you get into Vegas, it's a whole weekend. Your Friday night, you're hitting bars and clubs. How much strategery is there in maybe, trying to get this guy a little drunk the night before, or you're at the cabana, maybe pushing an extra drink, or is there anything like that going on in the league?
Dude, you have dialed in on that so quickly, so perfectly. That is so much of the psychology of getting this all together for me. I've won the league the last 4 out of the 5 years because I'm able to kind of work behind the scenes a little bit, talk down certain guys. One year I took an ESPN magazine that had Arian Foster on the cover of it because I personally wanted Jamal Charles. I knew the guy in front of me was deciding if he wanted Arian Foster or Jamal Charles. So I casually left that magazine in his hotel room before we went out so he would see Arian Foster with the unicorn on the cover. So it worked out. Jamal Charles had, I think, 20 touchdowns that year, so it worked out. So there's definitely a lot of that going on.
That's cool. That's really cool.
I do want to know maybe some traditions or maybe like a crazy experience that you've had drafting there or at these destination drafts.
How crazy does it get look, the drinks are flowing, you're in the cabana, the people all around you partying. It can't go well all the time.
If you've seen the movie The Hangover, the saying, some guys just can't handle Vegas, right. It's like magnified at the draft party. So, but yeah, one thing that we do that's pretty fun, that adds a level of excitement to it and a level of intrigue and strategy to it is we come up with what we call draft rules. They're basically like landmines. If you draft a certain player, we have a penalty associated with drafting that player. So maybe someone is avoided for a little bit, someone doesn't want to take the penalty. So I got a few, I wrote a few of them down here we've had in the recent years. Last year we had a penalty. If you drafted Ezekiel Elliott, you had to wear a half shirt for the rest of the draft party. Because remember how he was wearing his shirt was rolled up at Ohio State?
Right.
If you, we would sneak in a little Tupperware thing of gravy. Whoever drafted Eddie Lacy had to drink a little gravy boat of gravy.
That is awesome and disgusting and awesome.
Oh, yeah. And then if you drafted anybody with an off-season arrest, you got handcuffed to the table until your next pick. So so we every year we kind of just we kick off the emails like in the beginning of the year, and we get these rules going like early on. We all agree to them and stuff, and so they're a little bit different every year. Another favorite is whoever drafts a kicker first has to put on a pair of high heels and walk to the bar in a pair of high heels and order a Cosmopolitan. So that's usually a crowd pleaser.
Yeah.
This is great. We need to make a running list of this, Dale, and maybe post it online. Post it on Twitter to give some of our listeners some ideas. But we got to have you, Rick, put out some of these ideas. Add to our sheet because this is wonderful.
For sure.
Yeah, we can post some of these online.
Yeah, one more that we do too, which kind of, again, drinking at the cabana, getting guys in trouble, is we do this thing where if you try to draft somebody that's already been selected, you have to take a shot of Fireball. So if you're distracted at the pool, you're talking to chicks or whatever's going on, you're not paying attention, you try to take whoever, boom, shot of Fireball. And then
that just
the more
makes it
that
worse
goes
because
on,
that guy has like 8 fireballs by the end of the draft.
And then they're getting wheeled out of the cabana in a wheelchair. And that has literally happened in our league.
Wait, hold on, wheel off because they had to, or wheeled off because it's part of the game?
because they could not physically walk out of the cabana under their own physical abilities. So we had to have security come up to the cabana with the wheelchair, and we placed him gently in the wheelchair and put a little football on his lap so he looked like he was the part. But the best part about this was we were leaving the property, and the security guards, they couldn't take him off the property, like legally, I guess. So we had to call our hotel, and their security came onto the property with another wheelchair. So we had a wheelchair handoff basically in the middle of the Las Vegas Strip at like 5 p.m. in the middle of the day. So there were guys everywhere laughing. Optimus Prime was there taking photos. It was a whole crazy deal.
That's awesome. Where are you guys drafting this year? What's the plans this year?
So this year we're over at the pool at the Mandalay Bay. It's called Light. Like Light is their day club. So they've got a DJ going, and we'll be there in a couple weeks.
That's awesome. Wait, when are you going?
We'll be up there, let's see, the August 25th is draft date.
Yeah,
so we got 2 weeks.
Hey,
yeah, we're going to be
That's
there.
our
Nice.
draft. That's our draft day in Vegas.
Where
We
you guys
will see you out
drafting?
there.
Yeah.
We're doing our draft at Top Golf with Draft Party.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's an awesome venue for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it should be fun. But cool, man. Well, good luck with drafting this year. Maybe we'll cross paths if I'm going to be looking for wheelchairs and if I see any handoffs, I know who it is.
That'll be the here we go, fellas.
All right, Rick. We appreciate you coming on, man. Good luck this year.
You bet.
Thanks for
a lot.
joining us,
Appreciate
man.
it.
Have a good night.
Yep. Take care. Bye.
Dale, we had an incident of our own when we were in Dallas. What was it? A month ago, where we had a guy that you had to carry, one of our riders, on your shoulder. But I don't think we'll ever get to the point of a wheelchair handoff, right?
Dude, if I feel like a wheelchair handoff, if you do that, it's a problem, but it's also signifying that you're doing something right in Vegas. Like if you have a quote unquote wheelchair handoff, like that's a name of something that you've done in Vegas. That's definitely like you're doing Vegas right. Definitely don't want to do it, and I don't want to be in the wheelchair part of that story ever. But
Right. Well, you never really want to be in the wheelchair part of most stories.
right, yes, that is correct. But yeah, Rick, I have a feeling that
Actually, who am I kidding? So, dude, I was like never mind. I was trying to think of like some sort of like BMX story with a wheelchair. That might be cool.
now if you're in a wheelchair and like you jump a ramp over a car, then you're gonna be the hero of all your friends.
I need to stop letting my imagination come out in verbal spewage onto the microphone. Like, I need to withhold me imagining a wheelchair on a ramp jumping over a car.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyways, Rick, I think is a real deal here. I think he purposely sabotages everybody he knows so he can win at fantasy football. Like I'm sure he's ruined relationships and friendships.
Yeah, I do that with
Right.
my own life.
Just to win. And you have no remorse.
No. Mostly, like I said, I do it to myself, but yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, again, I can't wait to go to Vegas later this week. If you are listening to this, we are releasing this on August 21st, so you just have a couple days to book your flights and get down to Vegas
This is for the people that are already planning on being on Vegas this weekend, which is, I think, the most popular week for drafting. This week is the national draft weekend for most people. Some people had their draft last week. Some people, like us in our league of record, we wait till the latest possible moment, so we're doing ours next week. But most of your drafts are probably happening this weekend.
Yep.
It's a great time if you're already in Vegas. Come out and see us.
Yeah, for sure.
Tweet us at EatSleepFF. Probably the easiest way to get in touch with us.
Yep. In touch with us. Also, don't forget our website, eatsleepfantasy.com. We have draft kits, rankings, all that stuff there. If you are preparing for your draft, it's all there ready for you, ready to go. So definitely check that out, eatsleepfantasy.com. Again, guys, don't forget draftpartyusa.com for all the stuff that we're talking about with all the draft parties and have Frank over there hook you guys up. So again, we appreciate you stopping by and listening to the cool stories of some of the commissioners we had. Again, thank you, Sachin. I feel like I'm saying his name wrong.
It's
Sachin. It's Sachin.
Sachin.
Robbie and Rick. We appreciate you guys coming on the show. And thanks for joining us. For Christian Brito, my name is Dale. We'll talk to you guys later.
Did you know his name's actually Terod Taylor?
Terod. That's just how he pronounces it.
Yeah. Eat, sleep, fantasy, you rockin' with the best. NFL fantasy football podcast. We talking mock drafts, running backs, better follow the conversation with Dale, Christian, and Armando. Screaming Eat Nation, we doing what we like. Tune in every week, guarantee we get it hype. Fantasy, football enthusiasts, I know you plan to be joining us on Eat, Sleep, Fantasy. Yeah, Eat, Sleep, Fantasy. Eat, Sleep, Fantasy.